down. Would you,
Okay, so are we ready to for a determination of quorum? Oh,
Yes.
are you ready to record? Are we recording? Okay. Okay, so determination of a quorum. So we'll start with Director Williams,
Here.
Director Gray,
Here.
Director Alvarez, Director Houston, Director Deere.
here.
Okay, it seems we have a quorum of 3 directors present, 2 absent.
I see. Thank you. Is there any public comments?
We have no public comments here in the room. And let me ask if there's anyone on the platform who would like to make a public comment. Please recognize yourself by raising your hand. At the moment, I see no hands raised. And so with that, it seems that we have no public comments.
All right. Do we have any presentations?
No, we have no presentations.
All right. So we'll take the action calendar item 5A.
Okay, and
Great.
so item 5A is our resolution reauthorizing the Brown Act provisions for virtual meetings. And we have our General Counsel, Steve O'Neill, on the line to help us walk through that particular item.
Okay.
Sure. Thank you, Greg. This is a resolution I think you're all familiar with. This was under Assembly Bill 361 that allows for the relaxed Brown Act meetings through telephonic appearances when there is a local recommendation for social distancing in place and when the governor has declared a state of emergency. I think as I reported at the last meeting, the governor has indicated that the state of emergency is still in place, but he has plans to revoke that state of emergency effective February 28th, 2023. So as of today, the conditions that allow for these AB 361 meetings are still in effect. And if the board adopts this resolution, the board could continue to have the relaxed Brown Act requirements for the next 30 days. So essentially your meetings in January, you'd be allowed to attend your meetings remotely as you've been doing for the past year and a half or so.
Are there any questions?
I have a question concerning our last meeting.
Go ahead, Harold.
We voted on this and so we went back to the old way of doing things. And now we want to go back to the modified, I guess, version. Where our meetings would be, we could have our meetings like now, virtually and also in person. Is that the way it is?
Yeah, if the a resolution is adopted, the board can have the remote meetings under the relaxed provisions of Assembly Bill 361.
But since we didn't have the, because as I recall, at the meeting, our last board meeting, we were back to the old way of having to meet in person. So
Well, at the last board meeting, this resolution was before the board, and it did not pass. It did not get enough votes to pass. There were 2 votes for it, 1 vote against it. You may recall at the end of the meeting, we had lost some director attendance. The statute under AB 361 allows you to meet under the relaxed conditions to consider whether to use this version of the Brown Act. And so you have to kind of review this matter every 30 days. And this meeting that's going on today is being done remotely, but the statute itself allows for a remote meeting to consider the continuation of these relaxed procedures. So if it doesn't pass, then all the district's meetings in January will be traditional Brown Act. If it does pass, you'll have AB 361, the relaxed provisions. But I think, as I reported previously, by the end of February, if the governor doesn't change his mind, there will not be an emergency order in place that would allow for these. So the options would be the regular Brown Act requirements for telephonic attendance, or the new law, AB 2449, which goes into effect January 1st. I'm hoping, does that address your issue, Director Williams?
Yeah, I don't know, but in any event, this meeting we're having now is a meeting that's in compliance with.
Yeah, if it can, if a little history might help. You may recall that early in the pandemic, the governor implemented an executive order which, severely relaxed the Brown Act restrictions, and then that terminated, and in September 2021, and prior to that being terminated, well, when the legislature knew it was going to be terminated, they enacted this AB 361. So they contemplated that a lot of agencies were continuing to meet remotely. So the statute allows you to use these provisions to determine whether you want to meet remotely, or after you have determined that you want to meet this, then you can have your regular remote meetings to consider the 30-day resolution that we've done, for the past year and a half. So it allows it for under two circumstances. One, to determine whether the agency wants to move forward under the statutory scheme, and once the agency does that, it can meet remotely for the 30-day period, assuming it has adopted the appropriate resolution.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any other discussion? Is there a motion? Is there a move to Gloria?
I move the motion. I move the item.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
Director Williams, seconds. Been moved. Seconded. Any other discussion?
Just a comment. I'm not sure Harold said his question wasn't answered, but I do want to just say that, and the attorney can confirm this, that we are within our right to hold this meeting as a virtual meeting, because we still have that order in place to do these meetings until the end of December. So this item would take it into effect January 1st. Is that right, for the month of January, Mr. O'Neill?
It's the statutory scheme requires that these resolutions be done every 30 days. So it contemplates, kind of a monthly meeting. So we're now at December 27. So 30 days from December 27 would be January, I guess, 27 or 28. And so it'd be in effect for that time period.
So what was the time period for the 1 period that allowed us to do the meetings in December?
That would have been in, I think, in your November meeting. That was probably
Right.
November 28th, and which would mean that that extended for 30 days till tomorrow.
So we are within our rights to do virtual meetings today, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Attorney.
That was a good question. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Please call a roll on the motion.
Okay, starting with Director Williams,
Yes.
Director Gray,
Yes.
Director Alvarez, Director Houston, Director Deere.
Yes.
All right, we have 3-0.
The motion passes. We'll go on to agenda item 6, information calendar, nothing. 7, closed session, nothing.
Nothing.
8, director's comments. Good. Item 8, any directors have comments? Other than Happy New Year to everyone.
Just belated Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to wish everyone a belated Merry Christmas and a happy Kwanzaa and Happy New Year. Thank you.
And I want to say happy everything to everybody too. Thank you very much. If there's no further business, we are adjourned. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Be safe.